Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be reviewing the Breville Milk Cafe Frother. Is this something you need in your kitchen? We're about to find out. So you ready? Let's get into this. Just a quick note, our reviews are based upon the things that we think are important. That might be a little bit different for you, so what we recommend doing is after watching our video, you watch a couple of other videos from different creators just so you can get a wider range of opinions. That way you can make a much more informed buying decision, and that is the most important thing of all. If you've ever had a latte or a cappuccino at a coffee house, they got that little aerator on the side of the espresso machine that they use to froth your milk. Basically, the metal head goes in just below the surface of the milk, they turn it on and it creates a nice foam on top. Once they've created that foam, then they go ahead and put the aerator all the way down in and it heats up the remaining milk. That's the way it's been done forever and it works really well. The only problem is if you've ever used a machine like that, you get burnt up milk all over the head of that thing and it's a real pain in the neck to clean. If you're getting your coffee at a nice restaurant or Starbucks or something, then who cares? But if you're making it yourself at home, it sucks. That's where the Breville Milk Cafe comes in. You're supposed to get nice, perfect frothy milk at whatever temperature you like, with almost no cleanup at all. Exciting, isn't it?
Are you serious?
And here is said frother. Pretty simple machine. Let's go ahead and go through the features. This machine comes with the base and a stainless steel cup that holds a maximum of 20 ounces. The lid for the cup breaks off into two pieces. You've got the main lid and you also have an insert that pops into the middle. When you're frothing something, you can pop out the middle portion here and you can pour stuff right down in here without having to take the lid off. The centerpiece is a plug, but if you turn this over and take a look, this is also a measuring cup. The maximum size on the measuring cup is 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce. That's a pretty intelligent feature, and honestly I almost overlooked it because I didn't notice that about this until about 15 minutes before we did this review. When you're not using it, it slides into the lid and you can twist it and it'll lock into place. See? The cup has all the minimum and maximum levels for different types of liquid etched right into the side of the stainless. You can see those on here, and on the other side we have measurements. Down in the bottom you can just see that little nub down there. That's actually where your whisk attachment goes. If we look at the back of the base, you can see that that whisk is just stuck in here and it's held in magnetically. It's a pretty funny looking little attachment, but this thing is supposed to be designed to mimic a whisk, so we'll see how well that works. It just kind of sets on top of that nub just like that. If you look inside of the top of the base, you don't see any gears or anything here either, and that's because this entire thing just works on magnetism. Really easy feature. I did find that it makes this really easy to keep clean and it keeps the design really sleek. As with most Breville products, they put a lot of time and effort into making this thing really nice. It's a pretty pricey little frother, but at least you get a really well-designed piece of equipment here. It's got a really great stainless finish on it. This thing has a lot of weight to it also. So it really does feel like a substantial piece of equipment. If you look down underneath here, you can see that it's 120 volt and 500 watts. The model number on this is BMF600XL. Do you need to know that? Probably not, but you're getting the information anyway, aren't you? Even the power cable design is pretty nice on this. You can see that this has a built-in area for you to roll up the power cable, and it's actually quite a bit of power cable at that. It's about 3 feet of cable there. Not bad at all. The fact that you can roll that up inside here when you're not using it is really nice. It really does go in there pretty easy. If you're like me, then you end up using zip ties and stuff like that trying to keep your cables tidy. With this, you'll be able to just sort of find out how much of this cable you need out, leave the rest of it in the back of the machine, and then you can do something like that and just sort of plug it into the wall right next to where it's going to sit, and you don't have a whole bunch of extra cable laying around. So appreciate that. Like I said before, the function on this machine is extremely simple. Basically, you just put the crap down on here just like that, put in your contents, throw that lid back on, and then down in here you have some temperature settings. You can see this line right here will indicate what temperature we're at. So if you're all the way down here, then you'd be at cold stir. Then moving up here, you go from warm up to around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you get into this area, which is around 140 degrees, and you can see they've got this area marked black for the optimum milk temperatures for most people. And if you're like me and you like really hot milk, you can crank this all the way up near 160 and up to the top. I'm not exactly sure how high that goes, but we shall see. Once you set the temperature where you like it to be at, let's just say we're doing 140 degrees or so. Then if you've already got your contents in there, you just hit the start button and you would go. You notice that we didn't have to do anything else with this to get this to start. So in theory, once you find the temperature that you want this to be at on this machine, then you'd be able to leave this dial alone, and then every time you push this button, you always get the same temperature stuff. So that's really all the function that we have to go over on this. So what I thought we would do is we would test a few different things and see how well this thing will actually froth. We're gonna try to froth whole milk, low-fat milk, and also oat milk and see what kind of differences we get between the three. And we'll also crank this up all the way and see exactly how hot we can make the milk. Also, we're gonna use our thermometer here just to see if the temperatures we're getting on our milk equal what we're putting in the dial down here. Okay, we're just gonna set this for 140-ish degrees. It's not really marked super well exactly where that 140 is, but I'm just gonna put it right on the 4 there on 140, right down the middle. And for our first test, we're gonna be using the whole milk. Also, out of curiosity, we're gonna time and see how long this takes as well. Okay, we're just gonna pour this right around to where the minimum is here, just a little bit above that. We wanna be sure we use the same amount of liquid for each one of these tests, just so we can kind of keep it accurate. Okay, and we're starting right now. Whoa, look at that thing spin down there. It's a lot more powerful than I thought it was gonna be. Is that a good thing? Well, we shall see.
A few moments later.
It looks like it took about 1 minute and 57 seconds. So let's see what kind of result we got. Okay, first we'll take this off. Ooh, and look at that. Frothy. Let's get that temperature and see exactly what we're looking at here. And I don't know, 120-ish. But that might be just because we're going through the froth there. But it does feel awfully hot here, touching the sides of the stainless steel. Let's see how that looks with our espresso. So far it's looking all right. Oh, but look at this froth here. Wow. That's pretty nice froth, actually. Look at this. Kind of a coffee house result there, isn't it? Pretty good for 2 minutes, really. Let's see how high we can stack this. Pretty good. Pretty good. And it's considerably hotter down at the bottom, but getting through this froth is a little bit of a pain in the neck because there's just so much of it. I suppose that's a good thing, though. I'm showing 130-ish degrees, 125. Not really going to hold that against it too much because I'm not exactly sure where that 140 is supposed to be. But that's a nice result. So we know it works with whole milk. Duh. It should, right? That's kind of your default. Okay, next we're going to try the low-fat milk. We'll just leave that in the exact same spot, and we'll see if it takes the same amount of time, which I would sort of expect it to. By the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. That one took a little bit longer, about 2 minutes and 18 seconds. So that was unexpected. This time we're going to be a little bit smarter about checking the temperature. I'm going to pour the milk into this cup here first, and then we'll check the temperature on the milk. This thing does have a spigot here, so I could technically just kind of pour it, but I don't want to mess up my froth or anything, so I am taking this lid off. Ooh, that seems pretty hot. Seems pretty hot. We'll put the whole milk in here. Okay, and let's check that temperature. 127, 126, so that's pretty close to the other one. And here we got similar results with this froth. I think it might have been a tiny bit better maybe with the whole milk, but that's looking pretty good. Maybe it wasn't better actually. This is looking good. Everything down in here is froth. All that milk is gone. The reason we're testing these is because I was thinking that maybe it wasn't going to be as good with less fat, but maybe it will be. I mean, look at this. This is freaking great. In fact, if you look back at the other one there, that still looks great, and it's been there for a few minutes. Okay, that's about all of it right there. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay, well, we'll just set that right over there next to the other one. I was thinking maybe the extra time could have had something to do with the fact that I cleaned this container and it was a little bit cold when I put it back on here. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. This is our oat milk now, so let's try this. Same temperature.
One debt to society later.
That was 2 minutes and 2 seconds on that one. So I don't know, there's a little bit of variation there. You can see here the oat milk didn't froth at all, not one bit. The temperature on that is about 130 degrees, so this came out a little bit hotter than the other stuff. So no bueno on the frothing of the oat milk. Let me know down in the comments if you know why that doesn't work with oat milk. The science on that would be pretty interesting. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna try for maximum temperature. So we're gonna go back to the regular milk. We're gonna crank this all the way up to the maximum temperature, and we're gonna let this go just to see how hot it can make this milk. I'm gonna go ahead and time this one too, just in case you're the kind of person that likes really super hot milk in your lattes like me. Okay, so let's start this up. Okay, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's see how hot this milk is. Pour that in first. Well, that's a lot hotter, but this gun isn't gonna work too well if there's any froth on top here at all, so I'm gonna try to dig it off here as good as I can. And you can see that's at least showing 141, not as 142. Not really a perfect measurement, but it might be the best I can do on this, given all of this interference we got going on here. But it's hotter. I can't really even touch this cup. It's scorching hot. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to this. I just can't get you a super accurate measurement. Did notice that when you heat the milk up to really high temperature like that, you don't typically get as thick a froth as you do with colder temperatures. And that's normal. You have to get the froth first while the milk is still a little bit on the cold side, and then you heat up the rest. That's how you do it in restaurants anyway with the traditional machines. But as you heat that milk up, it starts taking away from this a little bit, but we're still getting pretty good stuff going on there. Look at that. It's good. Just not quite as good as some of these other ones. So that was our milk, that was our low-fat milk, and then that's our max temperature stuff. You know, just out of curiosity, we're gonna try something here. If this can't do this, then we're not gonna really knock the machine for it, but it would be kind of neat to see if this can make whipped cream. If we turn this all the way down here to the bottom, then that's just gonna be on cold stir. And at that setting, we might be able to get ourselves some whipped cream. And yes, that's whipping cream that I used, by the way, of course. Throwing a little bit of sweetener. I don't know if you like sweet whipped cream or not, but I do, and it's my video, so we're getting sweet whipped cream, or just some sweet heavy cream. Okay, this is going to stop a few times doing this, but we're going to let it run a few cycles just to see if it does this or not.
2,000 years later.
Alright, well, we did this 7 times, and you can see that it's not really turning it into whipped cream. I just don't think it can agitate it enough to turn it into whipped cream. Looks like the level is going up, so this will probably work eventually, but probably you gotta hit that button 15, 16 times to get it to work. And that's just not very practical, to be totally honest. But that's not really what this machine is designed for, and we really didn't expect it to do too good a job of that anyway, so guess it is what it is. Obviously, the Breville Milk Cafe isn't for everybody, but if you're a latte or cappuccino lover, this might be right up your alley. You can get nice frothy milk without all that nasty cleanup. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Breville Milk Cafe, we do have an Amazon affiliate link to it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, then you might like this video right here where we did a review for the Ninja Dual Brew Pro coffee maker. We still have ours sitting right there, and we use it every single day. Love that thing. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.